So yesterday we did section 3.3. We talked about all these angle relationships that form when you have a transversal. Today we're going to talk about why those relationships are significant when you have parallel lines and a transversal. So if the lines aren't parallel, the relationships still exist. They're just not really important. But when the lines are parallel, we know certain things about the angles. Certain angles are congruent. Certain angles add to 180. So that's what we're going to look at today. So just a quick review. Parallel lines. They are lines that are on the same plane and never intersect. In the diagram, you can tell that lines are parallel because they have these little triangles on them, like these arrows. Remember that? Okay, so we are going to start every problem today with a set of parallel lines. Once you have these parallel lines, all of these angle relationships that we learned yesterday, they now mean something special, okay? So again, if it looks like this, the relationships are there, not special. Today, the lines that are intersected by the transversal will be parallel, and all these special things happen. So in your notes, I want you to write this. If parallel lines are intersected by a transversal, then ... This is like the beginning of a statement. We're going to have several statements below it. So you might want to put like bullets underneath, maybe like every other line, and we'll fill those in as we go. So first you have to have parallel lines that are intersected by a transversal, then, and I'll show you all the cool things that happen. You do not need to write all of it. In one of your bullet points, write this right here. Corresponding angles are congruent. You don't have to draw that diagram. You have it in your notes from yesterday. You don't have to write the heading of corresponding angles. You have that part in your notes from yesterday. The part that's important is that corresponding angles are congruent. And this follows right along with that if-then statement we started on the last slide. So if you have parallel lines intersected by a transversal, then first thing that happens, corresponding angles are congruent.
You want us to draw the
Nope. I just want you to write what's in the box. Corresponding angles are congruent. Boom. Something else that happens. Once again, you just need to write this part. The alternate interior angles are congruent. Third thing that happens. Alternate exterior angles are congruent. So corresponding angles are congruent, alternate interior angles are congruent, alternate exterior angles are congruent. There's one more relationship we talked about yesterday, and it's kind of the oddball. Yeah, the same side interiors aren't congruent. Do you want to guess what they are? No? No guesses? All right, and finally, the good one. Same side interior angles are supplementary. If you're still struggling with what that means, it means they add to 180. Get one color out. We're going to go just one color at first. Once you have this drawn, let's review what we learned. So, highlight this one in red. Your first color. I have red, sorry. Color number 1. Okay, so the first thing we learned that corresponding angles are congruent. So whatever this one is, the corresponding angle will be the same thing. So I'm going to color this in. Now, the second thing I learned is that alternate interior angles are congruent. So if this one's red, this one right here would be the same thing. Which makes sense because these two are vertical angles, right? We also learned that alternate exterior angles are congruent. So whatever this one is too. So all 4 of those angles are going to end up being the same exact thing. the same color, all 4 of those. They're 2 sets of vertical angles, basically. Now, get your second color out. We learned that same side interior angles are supplementary. So color that one with your pencil or a crayon, I don't really care. Make a note that these 2 add to 180. Now, we can use all those things that we talked about for the red angles with this angle. So whatever the measure of this angle is, the corresponding angle is going to be the same. So I'm going to color this guy in blue. The alternate interior angle would be the same. So I'm going to color this guy in blue. The alternate exterior would be the same. So I'm going to color this one blue. So you basically end up with 2 angles. Over and over and over. Okay? So all the red ones would be congruent, all the blue ones would be congruent, and the red and blue together, any combination, will add to 180. Because look, these are a linear pair, right? We have a linear pair, linear pair, linear pair. Same side interiors, another linear pair. So any red-blue combination adds to 180. All the reds are the same, all the blues are the same. Questions? So we are trying to find the measure of the numbered angle. So one of the angles will have a degree measure. It has the little degree symbol by it. The other one just has a number. We're trying to find the measure of just the number. So we know this guy's 40. We know this guy is 70 degrees. I'm looking for the measure of angle 3. What type of angles are these?
Those are, those are corresponding.
Corresponding. And corresponding angles are congruent. So angle 3 is 70 degrees. All right, and just write the answer on the next 2 because they're the exact same problem, essentially. What type of angles are these? They're same side, but one's on the inside, one's on the outside. So they're corresponding. Yeah, same position. Corresponding angles are? Congruent. So the measure of angle 4 is also 141. All right, number 3. These are corresponding angles. And corresponding angles are congruent. And the box means a right angle. And a right angle means 90 degrees. So angle 5 is 90 degrees. That was the best fill in the blank I've ever done all year. All right. Questions on 1 through 3. Let me see. In your notes, I want you to do number 4, number 5, and number 7. So I'm going to give you a second to draw those. 4, 5, 7. You'll see why. You might recognize why. Those are all the angle relationships. So on the last one we had a corresponding angle. These are all going to be different relationships. So you can see one of each type and we'll just do the rest together just for fun. So number 4. The 2 angles we're looking at are this one and this one. They're inside on different sides. So what do we call that? What do we call it? They're different sides on the inside. No. Alternate interior. And alternate interiors are congruent. So angle 3 is
59 degrees.
59 degrees. Good. You should have that one in your notes. Number 5. Different sides of this line.
Do we got
on the outside of these lines. Alternate exterior. And alternate exterior are congruent. So this one's 110 degrees.
110. Four steps.
All right, number 6 you did not have to draw, but you can still help me out with it. They're on different sides of this line inside the other two. Alternate interior and alternate interior are congruent. Good. Okay. The next one is the oddball. So you should definitely have number 7 in your notes and put a big star by it. These are same side, interior. Same side, interior. Your brain should be going like, woo, woo, sirens going off, okay? This is not congruent. What is it? Supplementary. So we're going to do 180 minus.
135.
Mm-hmm. 44. 45, right? Okay, so that's the one you got to keep an eye out for is same side interior. All right?
So what'd you say 5 was?
Number 5,
Yeah.
those are alternate exterior.
So 4 is interior?
4 is alternate interior. It's inside the 2 lines. 5 is alternate exterior. They're outside the 2 lines. And then 7 is same side interior. They're on the same side of transversal inside the parallel line, so they're congruent. Or no, look. Wow, I did.
Wrong?
Yeah, just what I said out loud was wrong. Number 7, they're supplementary.
But it's the same side interior.
Same side interior, yeah. And I said congruent, but that's not right.
I didn't
But I bet a lot of you will do that on your quiz, so try to ignore what I just said.
We still gotta take some notes.
This is the last example, I believe. Well, there might be one where you write an equation. But let's get through these 2 and we'll just see what pops up next, like a surprise. Number 8, what are these?
Oh, wait.
90
Corresponding.
They're corresponding. They're 90 degrees. Good. And number 9.
Alternate interior.
Nope.
No, same side.
Same side interior. Woo, woo. That's when the sirens, those are the sirens in your head, okay? Why is this one setting off sirens in my head?
Because they're.
You said alternate X.
Oh, what?
Same side interior. That's when the sirens go off.
I need to remember.
Because they're
Supplementary.
supplementary.
180 minus 35.
I'm not gonna get the whole list.
Here's what you need to know. They're always congruent except for these. If they're on the same side inside.
Then what should be that?
Supplement.
Yeah, then they're supplementary. And they're called same side interior. All right, what are your questions?
I don't like this.
I love this.
You give a message, of course you
I know, I like all of it.
Yeah, you know.
All right, how about just write the equations with me? I think you've drawn this picture enough. Just write them out. So, do you see the little arrow in here? We're talking about this guy and this guy. What do we know about those? What types of angles are those? They're both on the left side of the transversal. One's on the inside, one's on the outside. What are they? Turn around, please.
Wait.
These are corresponding angles. What do we know about corresponding angles? Corresponding angles are, you wrote it in your notes. Congruent. Congruent means equal. So I'm going to make these equal to one another. Then I'm going to solve for the x. 10. Is that what you got?
Wait, do it right there.
You're just writing the equation with me. You don't have to draw the diagram. I think you have enough pictures of parallel lines with the transversal.
I'm gonna do I'm gonna do one.
All right, number 11. What's the relationship between these angles? Same side interior. Woo, woo. The alarm is going off. Why? They're supplementary. They're not congruent. So I'm going to do x minus 11 plus 142 equals 180. Now, careful here because the negative stays with the 11. It's like 142 minus 11. So x plus 131 equals 180. All right, let's subtract 131. What does x equal? 49. Perfect.
That all in my head this morning.
Awesome. I am impressed. All right. Let's write our summary. So today we learned about parallel lines. Mm-hmm. With a transversal. Boom. All right. I'm going to get your homework. We are done taking notes for the week. So tomorrow we're basically just going to review what we learned today. And then we will have that shortened class for the assembly.